Hi everyone, a little while back I did a video on 10 top reasons why people are lane hoggers. And if you did watch that video, I said right at the end there was one particular area that I purposefully left out, and it was regarding what people are taught. So in today's video we're going to fill in this gap. It's not so bad here in Liverpool because there are many big dual carriageways, but geography must play a massive part. For example, if you're getting taught in the middle of Wales, don't know any particular test centre, but you may very well be only on roads where lane discipline and the thought of lane discipline doesn't matter one iota. So if you've constantly been driving around roads like that, where you don't have to think, I'm not overtaking, I'm not turning right, I'm going to move back to the left, how are you going to do that properly and effectively when you come to have to do it in real life? And the answer is, you probably won't. Going a little stage further with that thought process about geography, there's also distinct probability that a majority of learner drivers, when they're going to do their test, do not get taken on dual carriageways or motorways. It is what it is. Again, it might not be available where you are, but honestly, I know there's a huge percentage of instructors who just teach for test. They don't give people the proper skill set. Now, I also get why people do that as well, because if you're having 40 lessons with Ashley, who's going to teach you properly, or you're going to have 25 with blah, 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 who's going to get you through your test, but in the minimum amount, and they're only teaching test routes. Wow, can't believe instructors do that, but there are instructors who do that. People who only teach test routes, combined with the fact that the geography could very well be an issue, and you can see that it causes, or potentially causes, loads of problems going forward. Moving on to a slightly different point. Are the rules explained properly? I don't think so in all cases. I think there's a large number of good driving instructors out there, but again, some instructors will be junction specific. Here I would like you to do this. On this road I would like you to do that. What happens when that particular student passes the test and they get onto a road that they haven't had that experience of before? And that goes on and that happens. So do instructors explain about lane discipline and what the maybe right-hand side lanes can and should be used for, and if you're not overtaking or turning right, that you should move back to the left-hand side? I think that's a strong probability. It's not even a possibility, it's more like a probability for me, because like I've said, the level of instructors for me is deteriorating. Another dig at driving instructors with this next point, and I see it all the time. I see it on the lesson observations that I do, and I see it continually with driving instructors posting online, where they're pushing people away from parked cars. Do you see that? Does your instructor do that? Now, why is that? Let me go into why I think it is. It's because learners, when they start learning to drive in the UK, they're sat on the right-hand side of their vehicle. So the nearest side to where they perceive danger is the right-hand side. That's where oncoming traffic is coming from. It's also, in their eyes, easier to perceive their judgment of where they are in the lane from the right-hand side. And that's not the case. Well, you're not going to be as accurate. You may very well judge quite easily where you are with the right-hand side, but it's not the right hand side that moves, or you should be moving with. I'm going to turn onto little long lane a little bit further up and try and explain what I'm talking about. But your normal driving position should be taken from the left hand side. The left hand side is the side that changes and alters, and it's what you need to alter your position from. And we can get down little long lane without too much hold up with this problem area. It is a problem area. So here my normal position is taken from the curb because there is nothing there. No issues, no problems. But if there was anything parked on the left hand side, it's that I adjust my position to, and it's not the fact that I keep close or next to the white line. Makes sense, doesn't it? So students' attention's this side all the time, and if it's that side all the time near that white line, they're not going to be correct position first of all from a parked car, or maybe even more importantly a cyclist. And they're also not going to have that mindset of where I am this side. Therefore, they're less likely to be going back to the left when they need to. Unfortunately, another little snidey one at how driving instructors teach. Does your driving instructor tell you, we're going to go in lane 2 because there's parked cars up ahead and it just stops you having to move out round them? They do, what mindset does that give this student? Well, it teaches them to not have to have that ability to lane change or move. And if that goes on, that student hasn't got the ability to deal with that maybe parked car up ahead. But don't forget, it also keeps them staying put in a particular lane and lacking the ability and thought to come back to the left-hand side. So again, that's another important point that happens all the time. Again, I see it constantly online. Oh, move to lane 2. There's parked cars up ahead at the lights. Stay in lane 2. It's okay, there's parked cars further up. All right, there may be certain situations where that is the correct advice, but they take it too far. They take it so the student has got an easy job rather than giving them the proper ability to move in and out round parked cars, or should say out and in round parked cars and moving back to left when they should. Doesn't happen. They just stay out in lane 2 all the time. So putting a lot of these factors into the equation helps you understand why people can be so bad. But another thing, and it sort of like fits in with all of this stuff, geography, instructors don't teach things properly, they just teach for the test, but people learn by examples, and examples of parents or family members just sitting in one particular lane, and even if they've got questioned about it or even got beeped by another road user, well, I'm doing the speed limit. Incorrect mindsets can get passed over to people who are in the same situation but novices. In other words, learner drivers. They're impressionable, and that's also another massive problem. The last little thing I'd just like to have a little talk about is impatience. And again, it's probably a little finger point at instructors that they don't explain properly and prove to novice, inexperienced learner drivers that the times that you go into the right lane and overtake someone are really unlikely for you to actually make much progress. Look at all the vehicles that just overtook me. A number of them overtook me. Yes, the white one is turning right, but look at the 2 taxis. Making progress. People go, oh, I'm making progress. Look where it got them. Even if I'd been in the left lane there, it's not really got them any further ahead. So it's the lack of correcting this mentality of I'm making progress, I want to get there a little bit quicker, that also causes massive problems. There's a whole range of there's a whole range of issues that are connected to this problem of lane hogging. But hopefully, you can see what I was thinking about when I misspoke there. If you do all these things properly, it produces a whole range of benefits. So, like I said, honestly, the main issue with it is instilling the correct habits into people throughout, and it simply doesn't happen. So yes, this was always going to be a little bit of a finger point at instructors, but if your instructor does any of these things to you, I know you might be tired a little bit at the minute because there's a lack of driving instructors. I'm just going to chuck it back left. You might be tired because there's a lack of driving instructors, and you might have only this option of getting some lessons in. But take it from me, these things that I've raised in this video are really, really important. And if your instructor's not doing them, maybe take it upon yourself to do these things properly. If you've got any questions, please ask them in the comment section. But you can probably understand why I needed to save this for a totally separate video all on its own. Instructors have got a lot to answer for. You need to be better. Keep safe, everyone. I'll see you soon.